Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's broadcast with me, Baba Yoba, your servant in nature and in the knowledge of the universe. Today, we have something very dicey to talk about, and I would only beg for your attention and ask that you also share this information with as many people as possible in your circle of influence and also around your family. There's a saying that goes to us, the more the merrier. The more that we are, the more freedom we share together. I say hello to everyone who is saying hi to me. Aboye Boshishe fún gbogbo ẹni tí bá ń kí babaláwo. Emmanuel Emeka is saying, great topic, waiting. All right, somebody is asking, why not in Yoruba? Okay, we must understand that not only the Yorubas are Africans. And if we are to agree to anything, we must agree that the colonial master have successfully divided us by giving us the slavery language, which to an extent has become a universal mode of communication to all of us in major part of Africa. The colonial masters are not only the British folks, we have the Portuguese, we have the the Arabs and also the French folks who mandated that we must not speak a language, we must speak their language. There's something they are scared of. They are scared of the unity that language brings, the spirit that language awakens, and also the ability for us to understand each other without misconception. And our leaders, those traitors we put in as our leaders, have actually accepted this thing and it has become our own reality. It is your duty and my duty to go back home and ensure that our children can also communicate in the language of their ancestors. Maybe one day when we become so much and we become merrier and we become so huge in number, we can change the narrative by ensuring that we make our own language the prevailing language of broadcast, communication, and public address. However, this will also lead us back into the new world or the one world order they are trying to create. In Africa, there should be freedom of expression and the uniqueness of individuality. In diversity, we are strong together. That's addressing the issue of language. A lot of people complain when I use Yoruba to say African spirituality. You realize that Yoruba spirituality as a branch of African spirituality is quite prevalent in all of Africa, and it is the most adaptive and the most correlating spirituality to all forms of all kinds of other Africans. For example, when you mention Africa and you talk about African spirituality, two things come to your mind: Ogun and Oshun. They are Yoruba ancestors. And you realize that when we divide the element of nature into four, it is still prevalent in our midst. And so this Yoruba spirituality can cut across the people of Kemet, the people of Nubia, the people of Kush, the people in Sub-Saharan Africa, the South Africans, the Zangomas in South Africa, the Igbos, the Hausas, and all of those things. And so if you have a gifting of being able to interpret this spirituality in English language, the more the merrier. Let's just allow other people also to enjoy what we have to offer as people. That doesn't make us superior to them, and that doesn't make us more knowledgeable than them. We are just serving each other. Somebody is saying from USA, and I appreciate the English. Thank you very much. We have our brothers and sisters who are African American, who were, would we say, fortunate or unfortunate to have had their ancestors scattered away during the time of slavery, and they are eager and they yearn to come back home, even if it is not physically, but also in terms of their spirituality. We must be able to cut across to them. A thing came out on my platform the other time. I posted a video of I think Latino or the Cuban or maybe the Brazilian or the Venezuela who are doing Ifa or Rumila and the rest, and some of our people in Africa here who are Yoruba folks started boozing with their black supremacy kind of thing. You know, we are easy to just say, okay, the white are racist, for not knowing that racial segregation is also part of human nature, and they feel indignant that someone who is white in color or who is lacking melanin in color is practicing a spirituality while they are full of hypocrisy, and they will not embrace this spirituality in public like those people will do. I have a friend called Olumi Osha, is quite more of the white side from those remote island of America, who speaks fluent Yoruba and has done more for Yoruba spirituality and African spirituality than any black people I've ever seen. One of these days, I'm going to bring him up on the show for you to have an interaction with him. I see these African folks who are dark in skin and all that. They go to church, they put their tithe, put their offering, and all of those things. They serve their slave master. They enable the slavery mentality, the concept of colonialism. And when they see other people of different color trying to embrace what they neglect, they become indignant and become angry. That is folly to me, and I would not tolerate that. So African spirituality is for all and sundry. Somebody saying greeting from Georgia, USA, peace, blessing, and thank you. I do appreciate the English. All right, so we are just trying to say kárìkápọ̀ ìyẹni àṣebá lára lónìí àṣebá jèrò kí bá wa ó ṣe ìbá kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ ìbá garígarí awo ọ̀sán ìbá pẹ̀lẹ́ awo ìrọ̀lẹ́ ìbá bírímù bírímù awo ọ̀sán ìbá ọ̀rọ̀gún ilé ìlá ìbá àwọn tí wọ́n kọ́ jáwé ká tó jáwé ìbá àwọn tó kọ́ wẹ̀gbù ká tó wẹ̀gbù. We're pouring veneration to our ancestors, giving credit to whom credit is due because they have done it ahead of us, and we are just following their footpath and also trying to improve on what they have done so far. May their energy stay amongst us all the time. Ashe. All right, so we kick off on today's program as we begin to talk about a certain topic which I titled Explaining God Concept in African Spirituality, or who is God in African Spirituality. A lot of people want to know who this God is and who can we worship, who are we venerating to, who are we giving sacrifices to, all those things we give to Baba Yoruba to help us communicate with the universe. Who is he giving it to, and who is eating all those animals and all of this? Surely if I be eating your goat and your ram and your chicken and all that, I would have been fatter than this, you know. Káwọn alálẹ̀ má sì so onítọ̀hún di oníjẹ màmá ìjẹ ló mọ ẹran lè hádì. Are you getting my point? So if I have been the one eating all of those things, maybe I'll be bigger than this or suffering from some kind of disease of obesity, diabetes, and all because of too much food. But you can see that I'm well lean and well toned as a person. Who are the people eating all of those things? What is the concept of God in African spirituality and all of those things? I greet everyone joining us afresh. You can share with your friends and family. All right, let's go back to what we're talking about today. For a moment, I need your power of imagination. And I'm not about to paint a story to you. I'm not about to tell you a beautiful illustration, allegory, or folklore. I want to take you into yourself for a moment. I want you to reason like a human being. I want you to stop doubting yourself. And every possibility and impossibility that your mental space encounter while I'm talking to you, just know that there is a reason for it. And for today, I want us to come to a fact that we don't know it all. And so nobody's going to kill you when you say you don't know. It is better for you to say you don't know than for you to say you know and make a fool of yourself. The complexity of mankind, the mystery and the misery, the disappointment and the confusion, the very foundation of religion that has been created, either Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity, whatever it is, excluding African spirituality, so far, that has been the sponsor, the sole sponsor of every war we have encountered in this planet. the segregation, discrimination, the creation of heaven, hell, the judgment day, the purgatory, the Aljana, the Jahannama, the 72 virgins waiting for you, the wine flowing behind, all those things, the mainframe of them is embedded in the concept of God. Now, I want to school you, and I want you to also school me. How for a day where we will gather in our millions and we'll be able to address ourselves like normal people do. This is a complexity. But this complexity finds its simplicity in three things: the creator, the creation, and the creatures. I say it again. The complexity we are fighting for, where the people in Saudi Arabia want to be supreme to people in Jerusalem, where those who are in Europe want to be supreme to those who are in Africa, where the Yoruba race want to be supreme to all that kind of African race, is simplified in the creator, the creation, and the creatures. And if you look at it very well, the creation is the many multiple places and the reflection of the creator itself, while the creatures are the exact replica of the creator. Creation is a very many multiple reflection of creator. Creatures comprising of the animals, the plants, you and I, the extraterrestrial, the celestial, and all that are the exact reflection of the creator. And so it's like building a lens to take a picture. You realize that all you know in totality is the camera. So if I want to take a picture, I say, look into the camera, look into the lens, look into the lens. All you know about everything is that the lens is going to do a good job. But when you begin to dismantle this camera, you realize that the camera itself, which you refer to as God, is made up of some components: the shutter, the aperture, the different set of lenses that takes something in and gives something out. And so it's going to be very wrong for you to call the creator a thing, a he or a she, like Christianity, Islam, and the rest call it. It is going to be very wrong for you to mumble all of these things together and say it is just one thing, and that you are sure that camera is just about clicking. It's about the aperture. It's about the shutter. Yeah. If you don't know what you ask, the simplest answer is, I don't know. When you say you don't know, the probability of knowing abound. And so the creator is not different from the creation. And the creation is nothing different from the creature. But they can be deplemented and also divided into several categories. If we say God is the creator of all mankind, then we must take a very good look at this God. If we say God is the creator, we must take a very good look at this. Who is God? Who is God? What is the concept of God? Because if you think that God has meaning, then you are the greatest fool on earth. God doesn't have meaning. God is an acceptance of defeat. God is an acceptance of your own limitation. God is hiding under irresponsibility to get things that you are responsible for done. God is you incapacitating yourself. So the moment you accept the idea of God, especially in the sky, you say there's nothing God cannot do. What about you? What can you not do? Any evil that has ever happened in this planet happened because you made it happen. Mankind made it happen. And every goodness that has ever happened, the peace we enjoy is because mankind choose to compromise, live in harmony. If someone is hungry and they need food, they will not be fed by God, they will be fed by human like them. So when you zone Godship into the sky, like those religions zoned it, you realize that you are losing out on things. And what you have done is you have accepted defeat. I took a picture one day and somebody said, this is how God is looking at you down from heaven. I said, God is mad. He's a waster of time. God is simply putting his attention on the wrong person. Instead of looking at me, who can afford 3 square meal a day, who can afford to move from point A to B and pay my child school fees. Why is God not looking at over 5 million people who are dying in Yemen of hunger? Only food is food, oh, that is wrong with them. If God is that all-powerful, why is he sending you to fight jihad on his behalf? Why is God telling you to go and kill suckling babies and their mothers and the strangers and all that, just so that they can focus on him? If God is someone who can be all forgiving and merciful, why will he have to kill so-called his son to appease himself and later explain that he is his son that he killed to appease himself? You know, this thing don't make sense. And our ancestors are wiser than this. So they do not refer to a thing or a person in the sky as God. Are you with me? So I said, reason along with me. Now, this concept of Godship, where exactly did we get it from? I believe, in my own opinion, strongly that concept of Godship was gotten from as a result of mental laziness and the orphanage mentality of mankind. God, to you, is not God to me. And if God is not universal, all-encompassing, non-racial, non-partial, or not all provident, not all merciful all the time, not omnipotent, then this God is not God at all. That's why I say God is not a word that we should use often. And God is a word that doesn't have meaning. Why do I say God doesn't have meaning? Do you know that God to a Jewish man is Yahweh? And if a Jewish man wants to call his own Yahweh, which is his God, he dare not call it the way I call it. The reason why I'm able to call Yahweh the way I call it without any form of shivering and fear is because it's not my God. Yahweh have all the attribute of a psychopath, very emotionally unstable, narcissistic in nature. Now I'm not sorry to say. The killing and all of those things is nothing. It brings pleasure to Yahweh to create some set of human being and then cause some set of human being to go and kill what he created when he should have not created them at all, so that he doesn't keep wasting things. Yahweh love redundancy, is a waste of. Are you following? God, to those who follow Pauline, is one Jesus. The Jesus which is a borrowed character of Horus from Egypt. God to the Quraysh of Saudi Arabia is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the moon god. The moon god, which was also borrowed from the concept of Set in Egypt. So we have Horus, the sun god, and then Set, the moon god. And you begin to wonder. When you go to India, some part of India, there are over 300,000 gods in India. To some kind of Indian, Hare Krishna is God. Some worship Ashoka as God in India. Some, the concept of God to them is Buddha. Can you see? So God does not have meaning. At least it doesn't have a singular meaning. So God is not a word. God is relative. And there is not one God. Can you imagine? No matter how humankind tries so hard, they would never be able to achieve the concept of having one God in the sky that does that. Everybody, Mayapa. To an ancient Greek person, God is G-O-D-T, which is also Odin. Odin, the guy with one eye. It's always adaptation. When you have interaction with the Red Indians of America, they will also tell you so many things that's God. And somebody is saying, okay, some Indians also bow to cows as God. So they call it holy cow. And because of all of this confusion that is raging around, so we don't put ourselves in a spot where we will be making a fool of ourselves. Your ancestors and my ancestors, they discover that the Creator cannot be outside the creation. And the creation is fully embedded in the creatures. So a creator that is located outside of the creation has told himself or herself that the creation can die. And this is how they began with this concept of netar, 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 N-E-T-E-R, N-E-T-E-R. It can also be said to be nature, nature, nature. And they were living in unison with nature. Those who encountered them first called them animists. Why? Because they were not talking to an invisible being in the sky. They were talking to trees. They were talking to the birds. They were talking to the plants. They were talking to the air. They understood the sound of the water. They speak to the solar system. And they could hold the rain and say, please excuse us, don't rain today, and the rain will obey. They grew so much confidence that they need not find a separation, a classification between what you call the living things and non-living things, because they know everything lives, everything breathes, everything speaks, everything have the ability to communicate effectively. If you don't understand, say you are ignorant. Don't say those things are non-living things. So it is called prayer. What you do when you go to law court, when your advocate try to speak to the judge on your behalf, say, Lord, my Lord, I pray thee. Prayer is when you have a perfect, uninterrupted, spiritually strong, with great signal kind of communication between yourself and other things, other elements. And when they were looking for healing, they were not kneeling down and praying to the sky god. They were talking to trees to bring out its healing ability and make them whole. When they are looking for direction in order to settle, they were not looking for an angel that will hold their hands and also going for fasting and prayer. They speak to the solar system to direct them. And doing this, they do not need the concept of a God. They need the concept of a deity. Ability to be one with what created you and from whence you come. There are a set of African spirituality concepts. When our fathers, those times, having studied the space science, astronomy, and all that, realizing that of all the planets on Earth, Sun is the biggest. All the planets on Earth, multiply them by 50 million. They cannot fill up a single black hole in the sun. And they realized that without the sun, nothing was made that was made. And they called the sun the Most High. Not the Most High God, the Most High of all the planets. And talk about photosynthesis, which has been coded in your scripture. Say, our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Let us break it down. The original Bible says, our Father, or the Father of heaven. Son is your name. When you see the word hallow, it means the Son. The Father of heavens. Heaven is the firmament. Son is your name. Thy kingdom come means the brightening of the day. Every single day, the day break. Say, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and meet what you are to this planet as you were made it in all planets. Give us this day our daily bread. When the sun emits the photosynthesis and solar power, plants grow, food grow, and you get your daily bread. That's for those who knew what was written there. Not all this King James Version, NLT, KJV, and all those shenanigans that you guys are reading right now. You need to well study these people. They are pretty much not hiding things from you. You are just the one hiding from the truth. The Father of heavens, meaning the Most High in all the heavens. Son is your name. Giving you this day your daily bread talks about photosynthesis. Ó sì wà lẹ́sẹ̀ Ẹ̀fà náà. So the concept of a person, a human being, with white bread, with thunderous voice, sitting on one throne, wanting to put you in hell or put you in heaven. Your forefathers, your ancestors, no heaven, no hell in what they, nothing like that. And because they knew that The product of a thing is not different from a thing. They began to live as Orisha. Deities. Remember when I told you about creator, creation, and creatures? That all of these three still mean the same thing, but you must not look at them as one. So the deplementation and the division, the reflexes of this nature, the universe itself in totality, is you. You. And if we must, for lack of word, bring about the name or the word God, then you are a God. Not small God, not big God, you are just God. Because one God is not greater than another God. You are all product of nature and earth. From that nature you come from nature you go back to. In case you want to think too highly of yourself, don't let this agbada deceive you. You are nothing but a dust. So you can go to the best hotel in the world. Let them make the bed for you. Sleep on it. Wake up the following morning. You'll see dust on it. Let your bathroom clog up. Keep having your bath. I give you 5 days. Let them come check it out. It's dust, sand. That's how you grow. You wear away. You wear away. You wear off. Back to nature. Every time you put water on yourself, you wash part of you back to where it came from. Every single time you wake up in the morning, you are growing back into what you were. You grow back into where you grew from. You are not going to hell, you are not going to heaven. You are only going back to the way of the earth. So we don't tell our ancestors to rest in peace. We only say, may their energy come back in our midst. So they say you have a small g and a capital G. Except you can pronounce those two words just differently, there is no difference between them. And if this one is angry all the time and this one is quiet all the time, what do you say happens? You say it is their nature. Their nature. Where do you get nature from? From nature itself. And what is nature? All of this. All of this. All of these elements of nature implement and also manifest themselves in you and I. So those who identify with water are awesomely quiet, very quiet, easygoing. Those who identify with air, they can stay in one place, but they are not really violent. They are just everywhere. They serve everybody. They are essential. Those who identify with earth, they quite given to agriculture, growing things, and they can take their time. They don't rush things. And those who identify with the sun, very hot temper. We're going to be doing a series of teaching on that. So you know your element that you identify with. When we talk about the element you identify with, we tell you that what nature is prevalent in you, and you cannot take nature outside of nature. You are only a composition of nature. Somebody came to me and I said, this is not you. This is only a reference point for the sake of easy reference of who you are. You are everywhere. Just like the universe is everywhere. Said the universe is the greatest database in the planet Earth. As I am right now, if I have someone on my mind and I keep thinking on that person, it is not telepathy or whatever you call it, or those things they are trying to explain to you. The person begin to pick the signal wherever they are in the world, and they start thinking about me, just like when your child is sick or whatever, and you as a mother pick up the signal that says something wrong with this child, and you pick. The universe is the greatest database that warehouse all of us. We are not different from where we came from, and the universe is our production manager. We cannot be different from the universe and cannot act or behave differently from the same universe. So we always say that's his nature. That's his nature. When you want to go to toilet and all that, what do you say? You say you cannot cheat nature, or you have to answer the call of nature. All of these things, you have taken them for granted if only you take your time. So I said to this person, you are everywhere. You are everywhere at the same time. If anyone is omnipresent, it is you. It is you. If there is any concept of omnipresent that has been reduced to the attribute of one sky god that is not existing, it is you. Those who created the sky god studied you first before they could come up with that. For example, close your eyes right now. Imagine that you are in the White House with Donald Trump. Are you not in the White House now? Just now. Now, you are in the White House. So when I started talking, you came back to me. Are you omnipresent or not? Okay, close your eyes right now. Imagine you are stopping a yellow cab. Did the yellow cab appear to you now? Did it or not? That's the simplicity of being omnipresent. It now depends on what you are able to do with that gifting. But unfortunately, most of the microscopic few people that have been able to tap into this and be able to use them are tagged as witches, wizards, and they are killed outrightly because mankind have been so used to living as ordinary that they cannot even fathom the little extra that can make them extraordinary. And before you begin to now say, oh, there are celestial beings. They are not angels. They are your ancestors. So the Bible or the Quran, we call them angel or malaika. We call them the ancestors. So we say we want to send a word to our ancestors. We say our ancestors should come and support us. We call on the energy of those who have been here and are gone to come to our own aid. So you can call on angel that doesn't exist in Christianity, or malaika that have wings in Islam. But we call on our ancestors whom we know that exist. Thank you. Somebody say, we also know that we do not die. Very correct. We don't die. We reincarnate. I must have mentioned that. All of these are the ways of the universe, which your ancestors understand. The day you begin to live in this consciousness, that day you begin to take responsibility for your actions and your inactions. But why is man not being God? Because they have mental slavery and mental laziness, and they are irresponsible. Most of us are trained to be irresponsible through life. Instead of us to go back to the drawing board, we say, God, come and take control. Instead of you to check your engine oil, check your tire pressure, check everything in your car before you move out, hold your government responsible for pothole and bad roads, you plead the blood of Jesus and say, God, come and take the way. If that God take the way, will you not meet the God immediately? Oma kunyo, oma kokudano. For example, where you know that it is not God that is guiding you, you are the one taking responsibility of yourself. Try to want to cross the highway or the expressway or the road. Close your eyes and say, God, come and take control. By the time you open your eye, you will be an ancestor. But why do you even go to kitchen when you're hungry? Why don't you tell God to give you food? Since God is omnipotent and can do all things, why are you, when hunger catch you, you have to take responsibility for your own life. I posted a picture on my Instagram page and I said, come. Spirituality will tell you, pray so that there will be food. No. Religion will tell you, pray so that there will be food. But spirituality will tell you common sense. Go to the farm, weed it, plant, water it, and nurture it to grow so you can get food. See, God is responsible for those who are mentally lazy. The day we begin to take control of our lives as individuals, as a race, in Africa, then invention, technological advancement, space exploration will return back to us. It will return back to us. What was the civilization like in Europe and amongst the white folks before they encountered Africa? What was it like? You have no record of it. What was your ancestors doing before the slavery? They destroyed the record also. All of this Roman scheme, destroying the greatest library of our ancestors in Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, and invading our land everywhere, cutting away everything, our mathematical knowledge, our astronaut knowledge, our astrological knowledge, everything. Before they gave us God, we were our own gods. We were creating the life we want. We were not praying for the life we want. We were making it happen. And because we made it happen, they took our ancestors to their land to replicate it and kill them there. So you must understand. Somebody will say, okay, if the universe and the entire galaxy and all that is the creator, who created the creator? It is good for you when you don't know a thing to just say, I don't know. You see, a snake is not wondering who a creator is. A snake is just being. You have forgotten who you are, that you are a human being. We have stopped being. All we do now is we just observe. We just follow the script. Your responsibility in the universe is to become the universe itself. Your whole duty as a person in the universe is to become the universe, the most intelligent creature. So every animal, they evolve. 100 types of snake species, 100 types of snail species, 100 types of fish species, 100 types of tree species, 100 types of million types of fly species, only one type of human species. Because you people refuse to be. They call you human being. You have stopped being. No evolution and no inclination towards what the universe totally entails. Your only responsibility is to be exactly as what you came out from, the universe. And there's no selfishness in the universe. It's always giving. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. You see the rotation of the earth. It's always moving around. A little knowledge you have, you sit on it, you don't share. A little money you have, you sit on it, you don't share. A little help you have, you sit on it, you don't share. A little achievement, you sit on it, you don't share. Some of you even travel from Africa to abroad and you start talking to your parents and your family. Have you not noticed that if you achieve the full course of your life, you will die the way you were born? You become what you were. Like a little child, you die like a little child also. If you come from the universe, you have to die like the universe. Unfortunately for you, universe don't die. That's where we know we reincarnate. We get recycled. And so it should not be something out of your grip to know what is about to happen next. Everything is contained in this universe. The moment you say the God is all-knowing, that only God knows what is next, you have accepted defeat of being able to explore all this magnanimous, huge database called the universe. The moment you say, only God knows, you have accepted that you are ignorant, you are foolish, you are oblivious, you are a non-entity. And it should not be so. God was created by the white man to put a limit on your possibilities. Can I say it again? God was created by the white man to put a limit on your very many possibilities as black people. That's the script of the world, and you are playing right into their hands. Now, for us to be able to know what the universe is holding and how we should live, or what we should do next in the moment of our primitive state, we have a divination system. I'm rounding up now. All the questions, you can start typing it now. We'll start answering questions. We have a divination system. The divination system is also called oracle. Oracle of what? A mouthpiece of the universe, not a mouthpiece of a god. If a thing does not exist, surely it doesn't have a mouth and has no idea what is happening here. The most intelligent being is this universe here. Fortunately, how we make use of it determines what we get out of it. You go to a nation where they allow the nature to take preeminence. They plant trees, they allow things to go the way they are. Take a look at their sky, the firmament above them. You see how blue it is. Take a look at their water. You see how blue it is. You want to take a picture. You want to feel cool with it. What you give to the universe. When you allow the universe to prevail in its original state, your life will also be beautiful. But look at nations in Africa where we cut down trees. We cut this tree down in Africa and transport it to those people. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. We pull up all the resources in Africa and transport it to the nation of these people. Everything that the nation, the continent of Africa gave to us, we use it to breastfeed other nations. And yet we live in lack, we live in want. We live in drought, we live in famine. Alepole and Jadi. All of these things. It requires your own self to separate yourself and be one again with the universe. So we have a divisional system. I always tell people, say that you are going with us or you are going with them. Somebody was challenging me. Say, how can you say Ifa is indigenous faith of African people? I said, what else will you call Ifa? What is the meaning of Ifa? Ifa itself, it has no meaning. It is an abbreviation. Whatever the abbreviation that they put God to be, it is what is causing problems today. And it's a divination system. This divination system tells us the way the universe and nature want us to go, in case we are oblivious. So some of us, some of you also like it. You have trained yourself up to be so one with the universe. You are not demonically possessed or anything. When you look at a person, you could read their mind. You know what they are saying. You know what they want to do. When you touch a person, you could download data from them, just like you use USB stick to download data from. You have aligned with nature. Everyone is an element of nature. We are all creatures of nature itself. And so we cannot be located outside nature. Every data of nature stays in nature, and any element of nature can access the data from other elements of nature. And that's why I keep telling young guys to be careful of who they make love to or who are sexual. Because the moment you plug, you have to plug by downloading and uploading local. Kó má lọ lè download wèrè sórí ara ẹ. Kó má lọ lè download oríbú. Ṣọ́ra ṣe. Kíjì mélòó ẹ má gungi aládì. Ojú gbogbo ẹni tó bá tẹ́lẹ̀ náà ló máa wọ̀ láàrin. The same thing to the women. We had the divination system. For those who are oblivious, who have not trained themselves to that path. I hope in the future we can create classes where we'll be able to train ourselves and be one with nature itself, where all of us can be priests, priestesses, and also administrator of the sacred secret of nature. And I hope for a future where I can travel around the world teaching people these things, so we will be confident in African spirituality. This Ifa now tells us the mind of the universe and nature itself, helping us to understand which steps to take. You want to do this, this is a step to take. You have to go there, this is a step to take. Something is wrong, this is how we can find the root cause of the problem. This and that and that. The Ifa divination system help us to do this. But because it's coming from Africa, it is demonic to them. If it is coming from them, it is okay. May I tell you, the Quraysh people of Saudi, who worship the moon god called Allah, the Quraysh people, starting with Q, they are the owner of Quran. They have a certain way of divining. We will respect them today. They have a divination system called Shetiu. Divination system called Shetiu. Shetiu is a way they know, okay, should we go to war? Should we move this way? Should we settle here? Should we do this? They have their own. When you also go to India, the Asian people also have it. In your Bible alone, during the Jew time, the Judaism time, when it was raining, when Yahweh was the life of the party, do you know that a certain king, they called that king David. They call the king David. He doesn't go to battle without asking for the effort. Say, bring me the effort. He will inquire. They say, I want to inquire. Should I go to battle or not? That's a divisional system. He wasn't looking to the sky and say, and something is speaking to his ear, you know. Eh? I hope you know. Huh. A certain man called Laban. Laban is actually the uncle of one guy called Jacob, which later became Israel. He said, I knew by divination that so is blessing me because of you. What divination system was he using there? Is holy there? Oh, wow, okay, there. It is holy in that place. So when they now have issue and they have to go to Moses, and Moses need to go to the mountain, why is he doing? Is that not divination too? So it is only when you come to Baba Yoruba, Lati Yeshewu, to find out what is wrong, it is a sin that time. When you have to go to Adeboye or Yedepo, it's not a sin. Or those your hungry-looking, monkey-looking prophet on all the mountains that will be deceiving you, it's not a sin that time. Now what they say is that not Old Testament? That's Old Testament now. Okay. When they say a certain guy, that character called Jesus died through the hand of the betrayer of one guy called Judas, because there's no J in those things. It's Y. Judas. Do you know what they did in the Acts of Apostles? They casted Lot. They casted Lot, a divination system, to know who is going to be replacing Judas. Are you with me? It's okay then. When, what's the name of that king? Saul. He told them, don't drink, don't take anything until we win the battle. And his son, Jonathan went to eat and drink, and he was looking for a while. He casted Lot also. He did divination. It has always been in their system. It has always been in existence. How to know the mind of nature? But when you do it, it is evil. Somebody was asking me the other time, what is the correlation between tarot and tarot? That's also a divination system. But which of them is as accurate as Ifa? If it is you, it is evil. If it is them, embrace it. Unfortunately, our people will now leave Ifa and go and be doing tarot. Ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni, ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni o. Etí yín á yá, tó bá yá, ẹ wá rán, tẹ́ bá rán, àwa di pátápátá. I just hope we refine and we reform and also regain ourselves before we get lost totally. Because a lot of people will come to you with so many half information and knowledge, make you feel less of yourself. Remember, I told you in our last broadcast, I said, African spirituality is not about any form of supremacy. Do your own thing, let us do our own thing. There is something meant for African people. The same Ifa we do here, they call it Afa in Akan, there in Ghana. They have divination system also, the Zangomas of South Africa. Why are you ashamed of your mode of communication with nature? Why are you ashamed? So you go to church, having called me idol worshiper. It's unfortunate, most people that have met me, I don't think any one of them can say they saw one single carving of a tree, either in my place or... And some will even meet me and say, you don't even look like Babalawo. How should a Babalawo look? Like one animal who escaped a zoo? Now, but you go to church and go and bow to the image of one Mary and Jesus, or Nimrod, whatever you call it. And you as a Muslim cannot even pray until you face a certain direction that's facing Kaaba. What is inside the Kaaba? That you must bow. That's where you should wake up. And all this I'm saying to you, are you teaching your children to? Or you are only any garden time? Anybody can die at any time. Are you exposing your children to this? This is not a teaching where they cannot learn. They can learn. If it has to go vulgar, I know how to code it. Let your children learn these things. That they are the completeness and the wholeness of nature. The very God in small packages, which can still do effectively as nature itself. Nature itself. So, we start by answering question now. The first question we'll be answering is coming from Peter Ekundayo. He's asking, Olodumare is the universe. Thank you very much. Oh, somebody is saying, Akitoye is saying, so please, who is Olodumare? Peter, thank you for answering. Olodumare is the universe. Olodumare. Olodumare. It's like when they tell you in your churches that Olodumare na la npe, when those Baba, those GO, those CEO, whatever they call them, those church enterprise and CEO, when they start saying Olodumare, they are not calling the Yahweh or Yahweh and Allah and Buddha and Hare Krishna and cow is different from Olodumare. Oh. Very different from each other. We don't serve the same concept of God. We do not serve God. They serve God. Their God is even different. However, Olodumare is not their God, though. Olodumare, don't mind Tope Alabi with all this that she's saying. The fact that you are using Yoruba to practice the religion of the invaders does not mean we are not the same thing. You cannot go to the church of Adulawa or Rumila and then you will see them saying God or Yahweh or something. They say Olodumare. There's a reason why they keep saying Olodumare. When you want to start a word with Olo or Olu in Yoruba, it is the owner or master or the conqueror. Odu is the normal Ifa couple star way. Are is the unknown. Can you know all the way of the earth alone? Not to mention, do you travel a lot in the airplane? I love to sit by the window side when I travel. And a lot of thought. Sometimes I just, where is the head of this God? Where is the foot of this God and all that? Not to mention of those people who travel into the deeper space. Your sky God cannot be found. It's not there. Don't take your children on a trip. Just pay for them, Lagos to Abuja. Tell them to point at God with this. Show them with proof. Are is the universe. When the Yoruba say Orinrin Are, that means you went to an unknown place. We don't know where you are. The universe is so vast. And if you think this planet is all that is, the universe, it's not all. Elon Musk is saying it's going to start civilization in Mars. That's another thing. We have many other planets that are yet to be discovered. It's so huge, it's so big. Your God is not there. If you don't get to unknown Mars, God will not be there. Now you they carry God go there. Why? Because you are the God. So the Yoruba will call the entire universe, without saying they know all the entirety, they call it array. Array means so vast, so huge, so unknown, so big, so magnanimous, so vast. However, we see Olu, Odu. We use the Odu of Ifa, our divination system, to know where we need to go or what is happening at a specific time in the vast cosmos of universe per time. You don't need to know everything. The ones we need, we know it. And in knowing the little by little by little by little, we become the universe itself. Do you get the point? Do you get that? Thank you. Somebody saying, can you and your siblings share the same star or element? Very well, very well, very well. Very well, very well. It's possible. Somebody saying, when you wake up in the morning, what are the things you should do before getting up? I've done a teaching on my YouTube channel, effective morning routine in African spirituality. Go and listen to it, and you'll be able to understand that. Ayuade saying, how often should one bow ori? Oh, they bori Juma. You can do it every day. Adi? If you are even living in this Lagos that we are living, we will everybody. Madness everywhere. All the venues son to ẹ̀kọ́ sọ ẹlòmíì ó ti ṣépè fún ọ sí mọ́ ó ti lọ síbi tí ẹ̀kọ́ bá lọ á gbé wèrè lọ́lé ọ̀gì ọmọ ọ̀gì ìyàwó transfer wèrè ẹ̀ bára yín sùn nù madness ó lè ṣe lójoojúmọ́. However, I tell people it's like a system, a computer system. The more you use it, the more it actually drop junks on you. And if it becomes too much, you need to defragment. You need to clear your memory and remove some things. I say maybe once in a month or 2 months. But a Jewish man will not wait for a month before he take his dove or his pigeon or his a guinea fowl or his chicken to the rabbi for them to do the ibori for them. It's only you African. That's why most of us will because our contact set is the contact set of our head is just sucking fuel. Somebody is asking, how do you know the element of nature you belong to? Through divination. Yeah, through divination. However, you might be suspecting. You might be suspecting. Ada is saying, is there a group where we can gather and grow spiritually? Our own church or mosque? A lot of people have asked me before, okay, we should do a model of a church and all that. However, I don't want to be the general overseer or the bishop over anybody's life. The religion of the invader is always making everybody think the same way. The concept of that is to make people think the same way. I rather advise that we hold seminar here and there, often, maybe once in a month, state by state, country by country, continent by continent. However, all of these things require money. But for us to now say, okay, this is a church, let's go there every Sunday or every Saturday and all of those things. African spirituality forbid that. Okay, there's a misconception. Somebody say, if you are quiet by nature, is water your element? No. No. The fact that you are quiet does not mean somebody might be sad and be quiet at that time. Even those who have worry in their head, people who have hot temper, sometimes they have their quiet moment also. And there are other elements that are also very quiet. Element like air can be very quiet, except occasionally. Element like earth can be very quiet also. Very humble set of people. Earth, very humble. That's why you hear them say down to earth. Very humble, you can ride on them, you can step on them, you can flow on them, you can do everything. But at the end of the day, they will still hit you up. You mess with them, they hit you up. So you have to go through the divination. Divination. At least in a single week, sometimes from the request I get in a single week, sometimes almost 70 people are coming to check their element of nature. And so far, so good that we have been able to help them discover that through our conversation and divination, give them, this is what you can do, this is what you can do, this is your own assignment in this dispensation. They have been at peace with them. So many of them just say, I sleep well now, I see well now, I dream well now, I do this one. So if you need divination, you can just reach out by sending message to this WhatsApp number and wait for your time. I will get to you. Okay, somebody said it was asked earlier, how many times do one reincarnate? As many times as possible. As many times as possible. It is a continuous process. So I call this an episode of my life. An episode of my life. It's a season that never comes to an end. If I die tomorrow, I'll pick another episode and move on. However, what I do in this episode will determine what will happen in the next episode. Abi? Continuity. So if you like, mess this episode up. Kill people, do all manner. If you are coming, you come and suffer for it. Amoti is saying, I'm a free-spirited person and get on with people. How do I know my element? Through divination. You send message to that WhatsApp line. We start divination. When we do the divination, we'll be able to know your element. See, there is a limitation to what I can use my head to know, to say, especially when I don't see you face to face. So that's pretty good. Okay. Akintoye is giving a valid question saying, does that mean nothing is a sin? What is a sin? There is good, there is bad. There is negative, there is positive. All of these are your deeds, and they come with their consequences. You do what is good, you get the good consequence. You do what is bad, you get the bad consequence. Sin is a concept of saying you can store it up in somewhere and then you go to heaven or hell for it. There's no heaven, there's no hell for you. You do what is, it's like saying that if I jump down from the story building, will I die? Oh, no, you will live. Eh? So the concept of sin is for the religious people. Action and inaction is what we deal with here in African spirituality. Okay, you want the WhatsApp number? Here is the WhatsApp number. It's on the screen now. You can copy it. WhatsApp only. Some people say they are calling direct line. Don't call direct line. Just send WhatsApp. Aboruboye, and go straight to the point. Then I'll respond to you, please. And it might take a while. I'm saying it now, but I'll surely answer you. Thank you. Baba Yoba, please kindly explain one of these days how the world began. I would like to compare with what the Igbo spirituality believe in. You know, when we started the program, I said something like, what you don't know, you don't need to formulate nonsense around it. There is a mythology or folklore in Yoruba language that says, is he Obatala or Romi or whatever they call it? Say he came from the sky with a chicken and some sand, or maybe it's corn, and the sand now started spreading it with the leg, and everywhere the sand spread it to, it became a dry distance. Maybe you people went to school. There are better scientific discovery to know how this thing formulates. All this molten magma that are forming. Maybe you people do geography now. All this volcano and all that. Is it also cock and sand that is sprouting them up. Go and study the reaction of the hemisphere, atmosphere, and all that. We must not, because we practice African spirituality, not be able to use our sense or also tap into the real fact that scientists are giving. However, the scientists also know that man is the universe and the universe is man. What African spirituality helps you to do is to be able to match two together so that you can maximize and behave or be like the universe itself. You get my point? And don't you mistake about it, there are extraterrestrial beings. Very certain. Extraterrestrial being. You are not the only kind of two-legged being in it. Only that they have their own civilization. Because only way kan tí mo lè fún ọ báyìí, there's a certain leaf I can use. Bá ti kan omi ẹ̀ sí ẹ lójú, ó máa rí nǹkan tó ń kọjá lọ. You'll see a lot of things, but ó máa yá wèrè. You will run mad, and I don't want you to run mad. So there's a lot that is going on. Somebody say, I'm in the UK. Is there any way I can get consultation? Yes, just send the message to this WhatsApp line. The WhatsApp line showing on the screen. Just send your request. If it is today or 2 weeks' time, I will surely get to you. But know that the moment I get to you, we will always be in communication for life. All right. So, any other questions so that we can round up? Somebody saying, when is the best time to call or reach you? Honestly speaking, there is no best time to call or reach me. Honestly speaking, I can't even tell you that this is the time you can call or reach me. I can't. It's just impossible for me. It's impossible. I might give you a date or time and then something come up. You know how our work is. Our schedule is not like every other normal human schedule. We don't do 8 to 5 kind of schedule or stipulated schedule. If something come up, if I pick a signal, I might pick a signal before I end up this thing and I'm off to another kind of state or whatever. So, but I will try my best to reach you. I will try my best to reach you. All right. So, is karma a thing according to African spirituality? I mean, the concept of karma, taking into account the brutality of African leaders, they seem to be sleeping well at night. Depends on what you call karma. Different definition for karma, you know. However, when you say consequences for actions, yes, it is a thing. Do you know the reason why African leaders are sleeping at night very well? Because religion is deceiving them. That if they build churches and mosques, they will escape it. When body they tell them, you know, go take there. When they start tripping this thing, you will not be there. Do we not have, what's the name of this guy? IBB, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, is there in his heel in Niger State. His leg is always swollen and dripping out water. He's condemned alive. If you know what these people are going through, you will not want to be like them. Let them continue. If you want to see what they see, you too, enter. Nature will not forgive you. The universe will not, it will recollect everything and pay you back. That's what I had to say. Aboye Boshishe said, Baba, I have a question about women's role in African spirituality. How has male-dominated religions impacted women in African spirituality? How has male-dominated religions impacted women in African spirituality? African spirituality is different from male-dominated religion like Christianity and all of those things. However, these are women in Africa stepping on their own power in the prowess of what they got. And gradually we have nationalized the religion of the invaders. We have nationalized the religion of the invaders. So we are either picking a vice president who is Christian and a president who is Muslim, or vice versa all the time. As a matter of fact, the religion of the invader even dictates our politics. So we live with an orphanage mentality where we want to be the good side of Israel or America, the good side of Saudi Arabia or Iran, and all of those things. Our government even budgets some kind of money they ship into this nation in the name of pilgrimage. That's why you see most countries in Africa, you can't see a female leader, president, and all that. that what's the name of it? Is it misogynist or whatever they call it? Is prevailing in our society. And look at where we are now. A society that women are just set at the back, will always be a setback society. It will always be, forever and ever. And unfortunately, Africa is not waking up to the potential of female folks, what they can offer. So we are suffering a lot from this masculine nature and civilization we created for ourselves. Okay, somebody is saying Happy New Year, great man. All right, so for those who don't know me also, people call me great man. Okay, so I'm not going to wish you Happy New Year because it's not yet my New Year. As a Yoruba person, our New Year starts from July 3rd. That's why you see in all my social media platform, I didn't wish anybody Happy New Year, and I said nothing so far regarding that. Start by July 4th. Thank you very much. However, I wish you well in this Gregorian calendar. Falani Lawal is saying, how do you meditate in African spirituality? Just keep quiet. Just keep shut. Keep your mouth shut. Keep quiet. Move into the wild. Stay with the animals. Be amongst the forest, the trees and all. Just move away. Isolate yourself. Stop trying to focus on one thing too much or something. Just leave and learn to quiet. Baba, must someone's primary element be water before you can learn how to use water to heal people? No. However, water is more effective in the hand of those who identify with it than others. I'll be holding a private course on how to maximize the water, the mysticism and the mystery of water. It's going to be a private class, not public consumption, where everyone you can hear how water works, you can know how to treat water. You don't need to identify with water before you can do that. However, there are things that are specially available for those who identify with water. You get the point now? Can we round up, people? Can we round up? Okay, few more seconds for another question. If there's no question, we share the grace in fellowship. Like our Christian folks would say. All right, so for consultation and counseling, you can follow the information scrolling below. And if you have one or two support to give to us, form of donation, you can also use the account below. If you are living abroad, you can use Word Remit service. If you are living abroad, and if you are told, yeah, that's good also. If you need to get a consultation, you can just reach this number. And don't forget to follow all our social media platforms, Baba Yoruba, also on Instagram, also on Facebook. If you type Baba Yoruba, you will see the logo, our usual logo, and you'll be able to follow them. And possibly you'll see my face in one or two of them also. Àwa ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ orí wa àtètè. Orí lẹja fi ń labú, orí lẹja fi ń la jù ayé já. Kórí wa kó gbà wá, kó là wá, kó sìn wá débi ire. Kórí wo bí ire gbé wa dé, kẹ́sẹ̀ wo bí ire sìn wá rè. May we not be present in the wrong place at the right time. May we not make the wrong decision that will set us backward in life. May we not be in the same location with those with negative energy. May we not say yes to what we are supposed to say no to, or no to what we are supposed to say yes to. May we have the ability to identify opportunity and also to maximize them. May the energy of our ancestors be with us in our decision making. May we move from the level of theory into researching, from the level of researching into inventing. May we as African people become gods on this planet as it is supposed to be. Káyé wa dára, kó yẹ wa kalẹ̀. Gbégbé ìgbésókò a ò lè gbé sájò. Ayé wa ò ní polúkúrú muṣu. Bá a bá pòkú ní kókó alàyè ní ń dáhùn gbẹni tó bá ń perí rẹ níbi látòní lọ, kó máa fọmọ di, kó máa fàyà di, kó máa fọkọ di, kóun fúnra ẹ̀ máa wọ́kọ̀ tó lọ. Over my dead body will you prosper? May they die today, oh, so that you can prosper. Torí a ò pé tèèyàn níbi, a ò sì ṣe bí sọ́mọ àkejì wa. Èṣù ò ní ṣe wá, kò ní ṣe ẹnìkejì wa. Ayé ó dára, yóò gùn régé o. For those who love us and we love you, may you be blessed with the wisdom of the universe beyond the proportion that I've been able to access it. Ashe. Koribe. And don't forget to share this with your friends and family. Have a nice time now. Odigao.